Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. So every week I get to come on here and provide you guys with a weekly education tip. And I am Kristen Gear. I am the Area Director for the Northeast Valley for BNI Arizona, and I'm also the Director of Information for BNI Arizona. So I first want to thank Phil Hersley and Cindy Chamberlain for getting me this awesome hat. Do you notice that it is right side? You can actually read it. So it matches my backwards name tag. So that way when I'm recording these videos, it's actually the right way. How awesome is that? So thank you guys for noticing that everything in my videos is backwards. So now I have everything pointed in the right direction. So it's pretty awesome. So today's education is going to be tying into what I covered last week. So how many of you saw the video that I did last week? Last week was all about staying in your lane, right? And doing what you are awesome at, right? Because in essence, we want to make sure that the category that we're representing in BNI is what we love to do 70% of the time, because that opens up the opportunity and more chances for other professionals to come into the chapter that cover the other areas that may be part of our business but that we don't do 70% of the time, but maybe they specialize in. So that's going to allow us for more opportunities for their contacts and more referrals. Because a lot of times we think, oh, well, if I cover all of these categories, I'm going to get so many more referrals. And it's actually the opposite, guys. If you focus on what you specialize in, but we bring in other professionals that specialize in these other areas that you might do, but that you don't do 70% of the time, you're then accessing a lot more contacts, which in essence will be a lot more referrals for what you love to do best. So, in following up with that, one of the tips I'm going to give you guys is to follow up with visitors when their visitor registration notification comes through. So this could be leadership team following up with the visitors, or it could be the visitor host, because you're also getting the notifications when a visitor is coming into your chapter, because we want to yeah, Brenda, I need to change my polo next. Soon I'll be getting rid of the polo, so I will need to change that. But today we want to go over the next tip. So when you receive that visitor notification and you notice that their category might be covered from a member in the chapter, the best thing to do is reach out to that incoming visitor, right? Because sometimes our profiles on BNI Connect aren't updated quite enough. So if a visitor is going through the roster and notices that their position isn't covered, but maybe a member has either changed categories, or maybe they're talking about a different category that maybe it's not updated on the BNI Arizona website, the best thing is to then notify the visitor and let them know of what topics they can talk about in the meeting. That way they'll know before they show up to the meeting. We've had a situation recently where someone visited a chapter and then was told that they weren't able to give their presentation because their spot was in conflict with a member in the chapter. Now, like I said last week, guys, I am not a fan of the word conflict. Just not a fan. So let's work with those visitors. Let's see if there is an area of their business that they can represent to give a presentation on in the meeting. Because the more communication that we can have with the visitors, the best. That's when we have the best member and visitor experience in our chapters, right, guys? Because the last thing we want to do is turn someone away, leaving not in the best moods because they took the time out of their day to attend your meeting, and then we're told at the door that they are not welcome there and they can't give a presentation and that they probably shouldn't stay. That's not good, guys. So let's focus on creating that best visitor experience. If they are in a category that's already represented in your chapter, let them know that they can sit in on the meeting. Talk to them of what they can do and what they can talk about in the meeting. Let's start that conversation, because if we just keep it at the basic level for the categories, if someone says, hey, I'm a printer and I want to come into your chapter to give my presentation. If there's already a printer in the chapter, let's dive a little deeper, guys. Let's dive in and see if they specialize in something that maybe the other person doesn't. So that way they are getting that best visitor experience when they come in the door, because someone is willing to work with them to be able to represent something about their business in the meeting. Now, that may not work all the time. Now, I know that we have realtors that visit chapters all the time to just check out BNI, so definitely make sure we're not turning those people away. We want to make sure that they are able to visit, check out BNI. Most of the time, they're checking it out because they want to start a brand new chapter. And if someone accidentally gives their presentation and their category is already represented in the chapter, that's the membership committee's job then to then vet that person, because most likely they will not be allowed into the chapter as an actual member. So keep that in mind, guys. If it's just a visitor, they're giving a presentation one time, that is not going to steal business away from you. I promise you, because the members are the ones that are building the relationships. So you guys are building the relationships with the members in the chapter. If a one-time visitor comes and visits and gives their presentation, that is not going to steal business away from you. I promise you. They are not the ones building the relationships with the members in the chapter, and the members know exactly what you guys do. So let's just create more communication and with the visitors, because we want to create that best visitor experience ever. So if someone visits your chapter, guys, and their category on paper looks like it is already covered by a member in the chapter, let's dive a little deeper. Ask them some key questions, figure out exactly what they do and what they specialize in, and let's have the conversation with the current member and say, hey, this person specializes in this. I know you don't do this. Can they give a presentation on this piece of their business? So let's think about that, because we want to make sure that they're able to speak in the meetings. What did Brenda say? Yes, absolutely, Brenda. So Brenda commented that if we looked at each visitor as a guest in our house, you would have manners to allow them to speak. Absolutely, absolutely. So don't turn people away at the door, guys. That is going to be more visibility for you and your business and every member's business in the chapter meeting if you allow them to stay and work with them on what they can talk about during the meeting. There has to be something that they can talk about, whether they're looking for a chapter to join. Let them talk about that. Let them talk about something that's interesting, that they went on vacation. I don't know, create a topic for them. But let's create the best visitor experience with everyone that walks through that door, because you never know what connections they may have to connect you to the best referral for you. So that's my education tip for the day, guys. Make sure that we communicate with those awesome visitors and guests that visit our chapters. Let's not turn anyone away, and work with them, communicate with them on what they can talk about during our meetings, so that way they can actually experience your meeting for themselves and possibly even pass all your members' referrals. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Let your directors know. We're here to help you guys any way possible. And I will see you all next week, next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Have a great day, guys.